Welcome to the United States of Small Business, a podcast where the essence of American entrepreneurship is celebrated in every episode. With host John Quick at the helm, join us as we embark on a journey through the heart of the nation, uncovering the inspiring stories of small business owners from coast to coast. Experience the vibrant energy of bustling cities and the serene beauty of small towns, all while discovering how individuals are turning their entrepreneurial dreams into reality, even against the greatest odds. Each episode brings you face to face with the dreamers, creators, and doers who form the economic backbone of our country, all sharing their spirit of innovation and resilience. Whether you are in the early stages of sowing the seeds for your own business, scaling new heights in your current venture, or simply captivated by tales of grit and triumph, you are in the right place. Tune in on platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and beyond. For deeper insights and to connect with the heart and soul of America's main streets, visit UnitedStatesOfSmallBusiness.com. Subscribe to United States of Small Business with host John Quick now and be inspired by the powerful stories of entrepreneurship, community, and the unwavering pursuit of the American dream. Begin your journey of inspiration with us today.
Welcome to the United States of Small Business podcast. I'm your host, John Quick, and today we have a very special guest joining us, Dr. Jeff. Dr. Jeff, based out of Louisiana, faced concern about his family's financial future, which prompted him to take proactive steps. As a solo practitioner, Dr. Jeff recognized the importance of diversifying income sources beyond his active earnings as a doctor. Venturing into real estate investing, he sought to create stable and security for his family. Join us as we delve into Dr. Jeff's story, his journey towards financial independence, and his mission to empower others to take control of their financial futures through real estate investment. Welcome, Dr. Jeff, to the United States of Small Business podcast.
Excited too, John. Looking forward to it.
This will be fun to hear about your journey. I've looked you up online, and this will be a fascinating journey for folks to hear about. So if you're tuning in, I want to encourage you to listen to this whole thing. You're going to get some tidbits of nuggets. But Dr. Jeff, tell me the story behind you wanting to become a doctor in the first place. I'm sure there's a story there.
Yeah, it actually happened from an accident. I've had a lot of things happen from accidents, but the day before I turned 8, I did something that our parents always tell us to do with a friend of mine, and that is they always tell us don't play with fire. And I guess I didn't listen too well, so I got into a backyard with my friend growing up. Him and I had a little fire, we're messing around in the pine straw, and we noticed this red can sitting next to it, this metal can. And he said, well, I wonder what happens if we pour this can on this fire. What would happen? Of course, that was gas. It flamed up, got second and third degree burns on my leg, and very traumatic. I can only imagine what my parents, went through, because I've got kids too. But the process, and up until that time, I'd really never gone to the doctor before, just, your typical annual pediatrician checkups. But for the next 2 to 3 weeks, after getting surgeries and skin grafting and hospital care, had to learn how to walk again, I was really got, in communication with a plastic surgeon. And I think looking back, that was always stuck in the back of my mind, how caring he was, how much he took care of me. And that led me to wanting to go to healthcare. And then as I got older, I noticed playing ball, playing football, basketball, baseball, the dads that were physicians, they were never there. They're always working and always on call, versus the dads that were dentists. They were always the ones that were coaching. They were very involved. I had some relatives and other people that were both physicians and dentists, and I weighed both of them. I wound up going to dental school, liked the surgery aspect of it, so I did a residency. So now I'm doing that, but I've actually just cut back to only practicing 3 days a week as of now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you become a doctor, and at some point you think to yourself, crap, what if I, what if something happens to me, and, the only thing my family can survive on is me being a doctor. And that sparked some curiosity in you to maybe try something different and new while being a doctor. Talk to me about what that story looked like.
Again, it was another accident, a snow skiing accident. I guess I'm accident prone, but at the time my kids were, I believe, 8 and 6. I've been practicing for 10 or 11 years. We went snow skiing. Long story short, I fell, injured my wrist. And up until that point, you think whenever you get into your career, you're going to work until you quote retire in your 60s or 70s or whatever. And being, let's see, I was probably maybe about 40, maybe late 30s. That didn't even register. And it was my wake up call that if I can't use my hands, I'm screwed. I can't provide for my family. There's other things that people can do that you don't really have to have your hands, but as somebody in my field, you do. And your patients want you to be able to use your hands too. And this was my wake up call that the way that I was operating financially is very risky. And I didn't like that feeling. And I started to question everything that I'd learned about money. And I started to question how, we had to wait until we were, 60 or whatever to access our 401k. And it was this big waiting game. But what if I needed the money now? Or what if I needed access to it now? And I started really studying how wealthy people operate. And it was eye-opening because it was, again, totally the opposite of what we've been taught. Doesn't matter what your profession is. Wealthy people do two main things that stood out that really helped me guide what I needed to do. Number one, 90% of them had real estate in their portfolio. Back then, I didn't have any except for my home, which is a liability. It doesn't put money in my pocket. Number two, they had multiple streams of income, anywhere from an average of 7 to 9. And at that time, I only had one from my dental income. So that really helped narrow my focus on, okay, I need to learn how to invest in real estate for multiple streams of income. Didn't have a clue what to do. And then back then, there wasn't a whole lot of information specifically for busy doctors about real estate. I started a blog, and as I was learning things, I would write articles about it. And after a couple of years of doing that, I kind of noticed one day, well, the way that I learn is YouTube, and I'm writing all these articles. So now I just started taking all of my articles and then repurposing them and making YouTube videos, and that has really helped me because in residency it was see one, do one, teach one. And it really helped me for this too. So I would see somebody that would go buy a property or what to look for or whatever, and then I would go do it and then turn around and teach it on YouTube. So that really helped me educate me too, but to educate other people out there that yes, you can work in your career. And instead of taking that extra money and putting it back in the stock market, which doesn't help you now, if you want to get to the point where work is optional, you can take it and put it in appreciating cash flowing assets that send you checks every month versus who knows when you'll be able to access your 401k or something like that.
So talk to me about one of your first real estate transactions. Was it a little bit bewildering? Was it, intimidating? What did that look like, your first real estate transaction or one of your first ones?
Yeah, the majority of the ones that I was doing early on are called real estate syndications, and that's passive. You don't have to deal with tenants, you don't have to deal with headaches, nothing. You basically put your money in with other people, and then it's a group that goes out and they'll buy. Now we're buying a bunch of RV parks and mobile home parks. Back then, it was apartments. It was nerve-wracking because it was a big investment. It's a minimum $50,000. And what was really cool about that was after a few months, I started getting these checks. And I'll remember vividly, it was $333.33, which is 8% of, they're paying 8% a year of $50,000. And I was like, this is really cool. I'm getting this check. And I'm not even gotten into all the tax breaks and everything that you get based off that, but getting this check every month and I can turn around and go pay a bill. and I don't have to treat a patient. And then I did another one. Then it got up to, $1,000, and then it got up to, 5,000, and it just kept growing. So it was similar to the Dave Ramsey debt snowball, where, you pay off your smallest debts, smallest to largest. This is more like a passive income snowball, where you start off slowly, but you keep doing it, you keep doing the strategy, and slowly you've got this extra money coming in, whether you're trading time for money or not. And that's what I really love about this situation.
That's awesome. So somewhere along the lines, you probably thought to yourself, man, there's other doctors or just other people that were in your same boat, and you wanted to help other people do this exact same thing, as opposed to just kind of keeping the secret all to yourself. Talk to me about what that looked like when you opened those kind of floodgates up to teaching other folks how to do this.
Well, I didn't realize it until people started reaching out to me and go, hey, I read your article, I watched your YouTube video, and burnout is big, especially in the doctor community, and suicide rate is big. And I actually had the guy that we did the played with fire with, he actually committed suicide. He was an ER doctor, and then a dentist here in town as well. And people, we get trapped, and we have these financial burdens. We have all this debt we have to pay for, and we don't know how to do anything else. And that's just a bad place to be in if you're just trapped and you have to go to work. You have to do that to provide your family, and people are miserable. And I started getting these comments about, thank you so much for opening my mind that there's other people like us that we can get income from other sources. We don't have to do this forever. And that really kept me going, early on to do that. And I didn't realize, I was doing it for a different reason, just providing extra income in case something happened, whereas it was actually helping a whole nother group of people. So that was really cool. And that really kept me going early on when I wanted to quit, because, the main thing is just being consistent with something. And most people, they'll start a YouTube channel, they'll start blogging or whatever. After a couple months, they quit.
Yep.
And did I want to quit? Yeah, I wanted to quit. It just, nobody's looking at your stuff, and it takes forever. But if you're consistent with anything in life, you're consistent with your weightlifting or eating or whatever, it's eventually going to pay off.
So who's somebody that you've looked up to along the way, or inspiration, maybe that's been a hero in your life, and why?
I would say my dad for sure, who, has busted his butt. He owns a hardware store. His father started it in 1941, and just relentlessly every day has always provided for us. If you look up servant in the dictionary, you probably see a picture of him. He does.
That's awesome.
He doesn't. He loves to serve. I could call him right now and tell him I've got something broken here at my office, and in 5 minutes, he comes to fix it. Doesn't want anything in return. That's just how he is. So to me, that, I feel in my religious beliefs that we're called to serve others, just like Jesus was. And whether you believe in it or not, I think serving and help, just think if everybody served and helped other people, how great this world would be. And hopefully the information I'm putting out there will help people, will change people. And then in return, hopefully they'll take that and help other people as well, pay it forward.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's a different approach than maybe what the average person sees online on Instagram or whatever, because I think in today's day and age, being a servant leader is maybe not the cool thing to do or the flashy thing to do. And especially having faith as well mixed in with that, I think that's pretty awesome. Talk to me a little bit about that. You mentioned God and Jesus. How does faith play a role in what you do, and why does it play a role?
Well, I think people, especially teenagers these days, a lot of them just like, what is my purpose? What am I here for? And when I grew up, there wasn't the internet, there wasn't cell phones, there wasn't all these distractions. But now with everything going on, it's just like, a lot of times people are just like, what am I here for? Well, what am I supposed to be doing? What's my purpose? And, and I believe that, our purpose is, we were made in God's image, and we're supposed to try to be like Jesus every day. try to be like him each and every day. What did he do? He didn't come here in a Rolls Royce or Ferrari, or he didn't walk around with all these, people that were his entourage. And, he came here to serve. And if that's our purpose, then my purpose, I think our purpose is to we should provide our best self spiritually, mentally, physically, and take that self and provide it to other people. Okay. So if somebody is just broke and out of shape and doesn't have any money or whatever, is that a good image of somebody to share and help other people? No, it's not. So that encompasses everything in your life, to be in good health, to be in good shape, to have good relationships, to pretty much what everybody is looking for, health, wealth, and relationships. More than likely, if you have a problem right now, or you're trying to get something, it's probably in one of those three categories: health, wealth, and relationships. So to provide your best self to other people, that's what I think. And with following and reading about things in the Bible and stories in the Bible, that literally any problem that you have or anything that you want, it's in there. It can help you, and it's pretty amazing.
That's awesome. So there's going to be folks listening in, maybe professionals or doctors or lawyers, and they're going to think to themselves, man, Dr. Jeff figured out how to do this. How do I learn more about Dr. Jeff? Maybe he's got a class. Tell folks about where they can find you and some of your current offerings that you have. I know you have a free ebook on your website. Tell folks all about those details.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with passive income, I put a free guide, passive income guide. They can go to debtfreedoctor.com. Right there on the homepage, you click on it, you input your name and your email address. We'll send it straight over to you. And also any articles and YouTube videos, just education, we'll send those to you as well, because the goal is just to educate people on this. Is it right for everybody? No, it's not. But yeah, and my links to YouTube and Instagram are also on the website as well, debtfreedoctor.com.
Nice. Well, we'll put all the links for folks listening in. We'll put all the links in the podcast description. Dr. Jeff, 20 minutes has gone by in a flash. You have any last minute thoughts here before we head off?
No, not really. Just I think that most people don't think about their situation. I just encourage people to sit down and look at your financial situation. How are you making money? And what would happen if that income stream shut off for 12 months, 2 years, or whatever? Would you be able to survive? Most people won't. And I encourage you to do something about it, not just for you, but for your spouse or for your kids. And then once you learn how to do it, then you just turn around and teach other people about it. And it's really, really cool at how you can help people to do that, especially kids and teenagers. When I got two teenage boys, and when their kids are, when their friends are around, you can speak life into them. You can encourage them to do stuff, because they're just learning what they learn in school, which, as you're just basically a robot to the system, in my opinion. So I encourage people to think more, encourage entrepreneurship as well, because if you don't, nobody else will.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Jeff, I want to thank you for joining us here on the United States of Small Business podcast. We wish you nothing but success. We hope everybody tuning in has a phenomenal rest of their week. And Dr. Jeff, we hope you have a phenomenal rest of your week. And folks, I want to thank you so much for listening to the United States of Small Business podcast. We got a doubleheader today. So if you're listening in, I'm releasing 2 episodes today, 2 episodes tomorrow, 2 episodes the next day. It's going to be a doubleheader week. So thanks so much for everybody tuning in. Until next time, I'm John Quick from the United States of Small Business podcast. Thanks, Dr. Jeff.
Thank you.